Hi. So now I've gone back and I've cleaned this up a little bit. I've added in a couple of extra frames, but I'm looking at this and it's playing through. Right now I'm animating on twos, right? So I'm animating on every other frame, every odd frame. And that means each drawing is being held for 2 frames. So this is technically 12 frames per second. And what's great is if I did need to add in just a little bit more smooth movement, I could do that. So say at this point down here, where it's hitting the ground, maybe I want a little bit more movement down here. And so I'm going to add in maybe one more frame right here, Alt-Shift-R, and I'm going to add it in like that. And I'm going to do the same thing as it leaves, just so it feels like there's a little bit of extra movement. And so now you can feel that little like softness as it goes. And so this is the idea of adding in some more frames as we go. Now, one thing I'm looking at is I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that these are all kind of wacky numbers. Like, what's going on here? What's actually happening here, and let's stop this, is the way that Toon Boom works is each drawing is its own reference. And so that means it's a symbol that's created. So if I go to the library and I look at each of these drawings, it's showing me drawing number 1 is currently empty, or drawing number 1 is the circle, 2 is this one, 3 is open. So each drawing gets sort of stored. So if I went to my X sheet and say I'm looking at drawing 13, which is over here, let's see. Drawing 13 is this one, right? It was one of the first ones we made. If I was to draw just something in there, notice that now, as we're looking at this, drawing 13 here now has that smiley face in it. So it's going to update. And so it has that sort of symbol inside there. I'm going to undo that, Control Z. I don't really want those in there. All right, cool. Now, when I'm in my X sheet, if I'm looking at all these numbers, it's kind of confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to renumber them based on the frame. And I can do that by selecting the whole thing. I can click on the very top, right click, go to Drawings, and then rename by frame. And when I do that, now it looks way more organized. 1, 3, 5, 7. Just keeps myself so much more organized. So I would do this after you've sort of already, come to a good point. Maybe you've done your keyframes, maybe you've roughed it in. This is a good place to finish at.